Riders ready, watch the gate.
Hey, welcome back to the Dirty Knobs Podcast, episode 15. I'm your host, Hollywood Mike Miranda, and my co-hosts, as always, are JV James Vicente and EC Eric Carter. This episode is about rivalries, and man, we get to going on some good ones. Stay tuned at the end for some special excerpts. You're going to bloopers. You're going to love them. And please listen to all our sponsors. Thank you to all those guys. And finally, big announcement. You're going to hear all about it. So stay tuned for more details. And please enjoy this episode. And while you're at it, check out dirtyknobs.com for t-shirts, hats, stickers, and more information. Hey, and if you buy a t-shirt or hat, send us a picture so we can post it on our social media and on our website. So check it out, check it out, check it out. Enjoy. Time for the show. Dude, look at us starting on time.
He took a shower.
Wet hair, don't care.
What's that?
You
Look, dude,
have to get that shower in. Oh, there you go.
Oh,
Holes in the mix.
dude. Cole just rolled in for it.
Yeah.
He did.
Yeah.
He's ready. No, we were out riding, and I came back a little bit early and got ready. So he just popped home. So he just wanted to say hi to you guys.
All right, man.
Yes. Hey, Cole.
How you guys doing?
Fat and sassy. Doing good, man.
Yeah, I like the new decoration up there on the right.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Hey, speaking of secrets,
Yeah.
I'd like to let one out.
We got it.
Oh. All right.
I'd like to formally announce that the Dirty Knobs are going to host a vintage BMX race in Southern California.
Oh,
I didn't know you were going to release that.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Well, it's not going to come out till next Sunday. That kind of, this will come out next Sunday. So I'm going to tell them all, hey, baby. Yep. In conjunction with, we want to help our friends out at Frogtown, and we want to send, we want to do our own gig down here in Southern California.
Yep.
At the fantastic, tell them, EC, where are we having this event?
We're gonna have it at the Velocity Bike Park at the Vail Lake Resort.
I heard there's going to be something special to ride on in Velocity.
Well, yeah, for sure, man. I mean, I'm in charge of the trails, so I got equipment at my disposal, and we got a really good, like a natural amphitheater, if you will. It's where the old dirt oval used to be for the motorcycle track when they had it out there. So really cool spectating, and I'm gonna repurpose some of the old motorcycle track and motorcycle trails. We got tons of dirt to work with, and dude, I'm gonna create a really kick-ass vintage BMX track with some really cool turns. I keep telling you, Mike, every time I'm out there, I'm sending you guys pictures and videos and all kinds of stuff, man, because I got a ton of ideas about how to make it super cool. Last turn is going to be pretty exciting.
Oh man.
Hey, yeah. And there's already a huge amount of trails and a lot of activities already going on out there.
That's right. Yeah, I think we have close to 30 trails right now. I'm in the process actually of upgrading or updating all the stuff on Trail Forks, but I think we have about 30 miles of cross-country and enduro trails. Phenomenal place. We do a bunch of racing with Team Big Bear there. The SoCal High School League races there as well. It's really, really awesome place, man. I just talked with my boss, Clint, about a village layout. So there's going to be a bike shop and a rental space and a food and beverage place and parking. So it's really cool to see it come along, man. And I'm excited for us to be able to put on an event out there. Basically in my backyard that's where I work, man.
I mean, this thing could be a family thing, right? I mean,
yeah, well, it is.
The KOA has everything there, right?
Yeah, well, that's the thing, JV. It's a campground, right? So first and foremost, it's a campground. I think we're like 6 miles off of the freeway and just outside of Temecula. We're super close to between San Diego and Ontario airports. And we have a 500 campsite campground. We have 11 cabins.
Wow.
We have a lake that has fishing, kayak, stand-up paddleboard. We got a mini golf course. We got a village that has live music on Fridays and Saturday nights. Dude, it's a phenomenal place, man. I was just there literally last night. Halloween goes nuts. All 500 campsites get booked on Halloween weekends. And it's the biggest block party in Temecula. So yeah, I'm excited. I think we're going to be able to create a really cool experience. You know, being down in SoCal with so much BMX history and heritage. I think it's going to be a blast, man. We did an event, Mike, you and I did an event out there. Gosh, I think that's almost 20 years ago, the Hillbilly Bike Bash. And it was fantastic, man. It was a great time. The camping aspect, and with so many campsites, it really creates a different atmosphere and a vibe. You know, Frogtown had camping too.
Mm-hmm.
And that was really cool, right? So, I mean, camping, that speaks back to vintage BMX racing. So
Yeah.
I'm super excited. Clint's on board with it. The owner, my boss, he's super excited about it as well. And I can't wait to put a kick-ass track together for everybody to come out and have a good time.
Yeah.
Well, spring 2023. Watch out, man.
That's right. It's going to be good. I can't wait. I cannot wait
wait.
for this place.
Well, it's a
can't
great
wait.
canvas to start from to paint whatever your portrait is. And,
Right.
And
Yeah.
the rest of the facility is awesome for hosting exactly the kind of event we want to do, which is come, bring your whole family, have a blast, come on Friday. You won't have to leave till Sunday, and just,
That's right.
It's just a phenomenal time. So we're looking forward to having that. The Dirty Knobs SoCal Vintage BMX a-thon.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So whatever the
Well-
working name ends up being is what it ends up being. But, I'm stoked for us to be able to get it out there and let people know that we're going to do it, man. We had a blast. I know you guys, man, we had a blast up at Frogtown, and, would love to coincide with those guys. And we want to push people into this whole vintage market.
Yeah.
Hopefully we can all grow together but I know this is going to be a fun event.
Yeah, it's going to be great. The great time we had, we just want to bring it closer to home, do our
Right.
own, and push people up to Frogtown afterwards. And that'll be an awesome 1-2 punch.
I agree.
Well, you know what, JV, I think you had something on the docket for today.
What we got?
I've got a couple of things. I mean, I know you headlined it as Rivals, but I think everything I have written here, all the different kind of like categories tie into that.
Well, EC has no idea what we're talking about.
He has, oh, yeah, that's right, because he doesn't look at any of the posts.
No, he
What
doesn't
do
look
you
at the
got?
policy. So I posted something today about what our show was going to be.
Uh-huh.
And I said it was going to be rivalries. And I
All
thought,
right.
yeah, we're not. And I texted JV. I go, should I send the notes to EC?
Like, nah,
Nope.
that's
He's
okay.
coming in hot, man.
Yeah,
Coming
yeah,
in hot.
he's
what?
gonna be fine. He's gonna be fine.
Yeah. I love that he just comes in hot. Like he said, man, you just throw
Yeah.
the dirt down and I'll spin the tires on it.
That's right. So,
Yeah.
so
All right, I got
you got categories, JV?
I've got categories, but they're all kind of like there is a rivalry component to it. So let's see if we can get the wheel spinning.
All right.
We're not going to spend too much time on one thing. So it's kind of like we're going to talk about it. We're going to move on to the next thing so that it's not just one category. We touch a bunch of things.
All right.
All right.
Hey,
The
you're
first-
touching some things.
We're
Wait a
gonna-
minute, you're touching some
Who's
things?
touching things?
Hey.
He only got one arm, man. He only got one arm to touch the things.
All right, you ready?
I am.
First topic is Terrible 10 and who should have been in it, possibly,
Yeah.
and who shouldn't have been in it.
No, you didn't. You didn't start with that.
Wow.
All right,
Why do you
All right.
start with that?
here we go. I'm going to
Yeah.
read them off, and I'm really going to go 93. It's weird as you look at it. I mean, the years are 93. They took a pause. 1983. Sorry, 1983,
Right.
1986, 87, 88.
Yeah.
They do it. It continues on there, but I think after that, I mean, it kind of falls a little bit outside of our wheelhouse on
Yeah.
Hey,
on
now,
pros.
now what was it? What exactly was the terrible 10?
Terrible 10 were the best amateurs at the time.
Based on whose opinion?
I think it was the 83 one. I think the 83 one was BMX Action, Oz.
Action.
I think Guyby, Windy. I think they were involved with the magazine at that time. So I think they were probably the ones that were. And
certainly that's the way I remembered it. I think it was the biggest magazine's opinion of who the 10 best amateurs were.
Right.
At the time.
Absolutely.
At the time. Yeah.
Okay. Dude, it was a really cool article.
Totally, brother. It was totally cool. Seeing that every time it came out was pretty neat.
It was amazing. I love the first one. I loved it, man. The picture of those guys and everything.
Oh, it was so cool. And the first one, so let me just say 1983, legit in my opinion. You ready?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Richie.
Yeah.
Eddie
Anderson.
Richie Anderson, Eddie King.
Yeah.
Paul Gosserow, Gary Ellis, Mike Polson, Charlie Williams, Rich Farside, Dee Leone, Nelson Chanity, and Daryl Young.
Right.
I mean, you couldn't.
Pretty powerful.
Could you argue any of those guys at that time? Should or shouldn't have been in that?
I don't think so.
I can think of one.
Yeah? Who?
Sherry Elliott.
Well,
yeah.
Hey,
we know Sherry.
Yeah, let me copy paste.
Who would she
that answer is coming back?
Okay, who would she replace? Who would she replace?
Paul Gosserow, world champion, won a lot of races NBL. Not a West Coast guy. Never really raced west of whatever St. Louis.
Mm.
You could say Dee Leone, same thing. Really a West Coast, Central guy. I don't know that he raced a lot, other than later in raced some NBL on the East Coast. But you
Richie
take Sherry Elliott.
Richie was an East Coast guy, though. No.
So just so you guys, the way they framed that was, if hypothetically, if all the amateurs could get on the gate at the same time, which 10 would cross the finish line first?
Ooh.
Oh, okay.
Ooh.
Right. And I meant Rich Farside, not Richie Anderson.
Right. So that's why Sherry would have not been.
Yep. I got you. Yep.
Right.
Good.
Oh, okay.
Hey, well said. Okay.
Right.
Yeah. All right. Ready?
Yes.
86.
Uh-huh.
Darwin Griffin, Doug Davis, Kevin Hall, Billy Griggs, Charles Townsend, Rick Palmer, Mr. Eric Carter, Jameson Hendler, Mikey, Sean Callahan.
Right.
There was certainly somebody left off of there.
Yeah.
Without a doubt, there was somebody left off of there. And I'm going to make the argument. Judd Ciencio should have been on there. Judd Ciencio should have been on there. And I'll tell you why. I can't think of all the races that he won, but he won a lot of them. I know he knows all the ones he won. And I'll tell you what.
That's a stat. Dude, how about his stat book?
Dude, he's got his stats. And again, man, you put him in there.
More than Jarrett Justice.
I didn't say more than Jarrett Justice. I didn't point anyone out.
Okay. I'm just asking.
If you put 10 guys on there, would Judd beat any of them? Well, yeah. What do you think, Eric?
Well, I mean, yeah, I was surprised I got picked, to be honest with you. I was surprised because I was still just coming into I had won some races. I was definitely going fast, but it was when I was just on Hutch. Like it was at the start of being on Hutch. So I was winning some stuff, but I wasn't we hadn't hit the summer for Hutch, I believe. I think that came out in the spring. So
you think Judge should have replaced you? Is that what you're saying?
No.
Oh,
I don't think he would.
No way. And here's what I'd say.
I didn't think so, but
yeah, I know.
I think
I'm asking.
Yeah, I don't think he should have replaced me for a couple of reasons. One, Judd didn't race a lot of West Coast as well, and that actually hurt him, and it hurt his chance to get in the Terrible 10 because it was a BMX action thing again with Gork. So,
Yep.
but I think he certainly could have replaced Sean Callahan.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, Sean was really fast as well, but
West Coast.
Yeah, but he was really West Coast, and I think I was faster than Sean. So it's like, I mean, Sean beat me a lot of times. Don't take it that way. I mean, but you know, an argument could be made for Matt Hayden.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's other guys that arguments could have been, like you said, Jared Justice. You know, there's a couple of guys that arguments could have been made for. So, but Judd was certainly, he was a fast dude. He won some titles. So, I mean,
What else you got, JV? What else you got? Who's next?
87.
Oh, who do you think? Who do you think?
Yeah,
What do you think,
JV?
JV?
No, I said Jarrett.
Jarrett?
Yeah, Jared Justice for sure. Always a contender, man, and won a lot. Cruiser and 20.
Yeah.
How come Judge isn't in any of this?
I was going to ask that about the first one, the 83 one.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
When
That was going to be my guy for 83. But I don't, dude, that 83 group is strong.
Tight.
That's
Man.
a strong group.
And Judge, I mean, Timmy did win the world championships on thruster. I don't know what year that was, but
He was on Shimano, actually. He had a Shimano jersey on.
Riding a thruster.
That was, yeah. And I think that was 80 or 81.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But he was still fast.
And yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
he went from there to Hutch, right?
Yeah.
I mean, dude was fast.
He was fast
Damn.
and stylish. And
Yeah, style.
yeah, it's style and funny.
Right.
All right, 87.
Mm.
Terry Tennant, Eric Carter, Mikey King, Cecil Johns, Matt Hayden, Darwin Griffin, Todd Corbett, Hendler, Milwee, and Ronnie Walker.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Holy Anheuser-Busch Eagle snacks.
Skywalker was fast, dude.
Yeah,
He
he was.
was.
Yeah, he was.
He was really fast, man. Got them chicken wings flapping. Dude, he was fast as shit.
Hard to argue with it, man.
I
Hard to
remember
argue
being-
with it.
You argue with anyone on that list? Shit, they're all pretty legit. I mean, they're all
fast.
Yeah, they are.
I think Milwee got the nod because he was starting to get faster, but I don't know if I don't know who I'd replace him with though.
Sherry Elliott? Oh no, I
Sherry,
forgot. We did.
Sherry Elliott.
That's
So-
my go-to.
Yeah.
87.
I know Coley was, well, are you looking at the article or just the names?
I'm looking at, I wrote the names down from the.
Because in
From
the
the
article,
article.
I know it says honorable mentions of who
Oh
was
yeah,
close.
you're right. Yeah, I didn't write those down. I should have written those down.
I know Coley was really close on that one, and that one, it actually crushed him that he wasn't on there. And
How
I think
come,
he could have made an argument for being on there in
Dave. Yeah.
place of Milwee.
What about like a Shelby James? Wasn't he like
Too young.
Too young.
unbeatable?
Too young. Yeah, no, too
Oh,
young.
too young.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Got you. Okay, ready? 88. Let me just say before I read these names, Eric, you were the only one to be on 3 years
Yeah.
on this list.
Some of those.
Wow.
Yeah.
3 years.
Yeah. Some of those guys turned pro. And
Yeah.
that was my last year as an amateur. I actually turned pro halfway. I think I turned pro halfway at the NBL Grands of that year, actually. Maybe.
So you're really-
that was 89.
You're really terrible 25.
That was terrible. 25. Exactly. It was like, yeah, I didn't graduate, man. It was like my fifth
Yeah.
year in high school.
Of course you got good grades. You know all the classes already.
Exactly.
So
All
who's
right.
on that list in 88?
88. Could be debatable here. Hayden, Pavlovsky, Carter, Dillard, Milwee, McGee, Jeff Donnell, Veltman, Kenny May, and Darwin. Oh, shit. Darwin 3 times also.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. You and Darwin had 3.
There's 2 separate paths right there after racing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, when you look at that list, there's some incredible people on there, some incredible talent, and some people that have gone. When you look at like who turned pro, when you look at all those lists and who turned pro and who did what, does that, when we look back at that, does that count for anything? It does. I mean, it doesn't for Terrible 10, but like when I look at those, I hear those names now and I hear the list, I go, wow, what did they go on to do?
Right.
What did they go on to do? Like great amateurs, but what happened?
Yeah.
You know, didn't, you know, when you see that and then you go back and read those lists, to me, it puts a lot more power into who they were and what they accomplished.
I agree. I actually thought it the same way, Mike. When you look at where they went, you know, after what their transition was like. And there was a lot of guys that didn't transition. They didn't make they used to make the grade into the pro ranks.
For whatever reason. And it couldn't be lack of talent. It could be, you know, just life got in the way or
support.
Yeah, a lot of reasons happen that you can't do it.
Steve Dillard went to jail or prison. You know, there's that too.
Well, I'm sure that hearing some of those names, he wasn't the only one.
Yeah.
There's a few of them that have been standing on either side of the bars. And
right.
You're saying good amateurs, but just didn't make it as pros.
Yeah. There's a few on there that didn't on that list for sure.
Yeah.
You know,
for sure.
So, but like you said, you know, like, I mean, I literally had this conversation with Pav last night and we were talking about life paths and stuff and how he made a conscious choice to go into the fire academy. You know, he just was like, man, in his mind, he was thinking, what am I chasing here? And what am I ultimately going to get out of this?
Yeah.
And he chose to just stop chasing the BMX dream, period. Yeah. And he just went into the fire academy and now he's Huntington Beach fireman.
Yeah. You know, and I think he was chasing, you know, he always had that dream because his dad was a fireman.
Correct.
So I think he had that, not that dream in his back pocket. I wouldn't say that. I would think he thought that was going to happen after BMX anyway. He just, when he saw it, he goes, okay, now's my time to take the next step.
I agree. He, you know, and Glenn got busted up a lot, dude. He had some really bad crashes as an amateur too. And, you know, he tried, but he never, I agree. I think his dream of being a fireman always outweighed his dream of being a BMX pro. So he went, and I think he did a year, maybe 2 years of it, but he never lost sight of the fireman position. And once he got through that, I mean, he was just like, all right. Smart.
I hope we can have Matt Hayden on here someday.
I would love it. Dude.
Yeah. I want to ask him about his choice because he ended up being a cop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'd love to hear how that progressed and how that started and where that dream, where he got off the freeway on that dream.
I know. I think that last list, I think that last list got a little soft, you know.
Oh,
it did.
Punch to the underbelly.
Well, I mean,
whose nuts are you going to kick first?
Yeah.
I mean, Dillard was fast, but Dillard was a personal friend of mine.
I love the kid. Hilarious, but he was the first name I would have said too.
Yeah. So
who would replace him?
Yeah. See, I'm not drawing up any names, man. I remember Sean Riblett was really fast at that time. He was going really quick, man. That guy gave me fits sometimes at some of the NBL races. He was always spoiling my perfects, man. He'd get me in one moto, son of a bitch.
In 88, were there any of the Europeans living here yet? Racing amateur?
Mm-mm.
They were already all pro. Okay.
Yeah. Minozzi came over in 89, I think. He was the first guy that I remember being in my parents' backyard. And then Levesque was in like 90 something.
Okay.
Early 90s. Yeah. So
what about David Milham?
Milham was fast. He was really fast, but he was just, I think he was just a couple of years younger than us. I don't think he would have been faster than that group. So
Mike Savage.
Yeah, no.
I think Savage was number 11 every year.
Yeah.
And he still is.
But
the point I want to make is he still is.
yeah,
He's still doing it, man. He's still doing it.
He is still doing it.
he
Awesome.
dude, he won a lot of those vintage races.
You look good.
I
The
know.
guy looked good.
He was
How about the
quick.
fact that Mike Savage can still wear his uniform that he raced in back then? And
Brother,
it's baggy.
it's the same I couldn't believe it. Everyone had these retro, like these remakes of uniforms. He had the same uniform on.
And then
And it was baggy. It was loose.
And then he announced
Yeah. That's unbelievable.
that guy could throw turndowns like nobody's business, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He has a nasty turn down, bro.
Did you see his dude? He had a badass Haro number plate on there too. Did you see that? Dude, the day he's going to be buried covered in crit plates.
Oh, yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
He could never use anything else but a crit plate.
No.
I think the earth would stop spinning on its axis. He strapped another plate on his bars.
Hey, so originally when I sent this list to, my notes to JV,
Yeah.
and I posted it was about rivalries, man.
I have.
And you do.
What do you
do?
do?
That's next.
Well, come
Who
on,
do you got?
don't let me jump
you
the
ready?
gate.
More
Yeah.
categories?
All right, let's go. Rivalries. You ready?
Yeah.
Hey, wait, what to you is a rivalry?
Well, I guess anything that it could be against people, it could be against a geography, for instance. Yes.
I think it's two people that everybody who was standing on the sidelines knew were going to be in the gate, and they walked over to watch it because they knew that shit was going down.
Okay, that fits.
I like that.
That
But
fits.
Okay, we'll start there.
Yeah.
I'll have another point over that, but yeah, I agree.
Okay.
Who? Okay, so who in your mind, JV, first comes to mind? Rivalry.
Rivalry.
Yeah.
Greg Hill, Stuart Thompson.
Yeah, after talking to Stuart on our podcast, his he touched lightly on it, but I remember it being pretty gung ho, man. Those two, it was always those two, and they may have been related off the track, but man, they were bumping and shoving on the track.
Yeah. Yeah.
UEC.
Yeah, I agree with that. Greg and Stu, man, those guys were, I mean, they were gnarly.
Yeah.
So
what about you? First rivalry comes to your mind?
Well, to me, it's the biggest one of when I was there, and that's Pete and Ronnie.
I
mean,
Pistol and Crazy.
Yeah. I mean, we can, if we want to hold that off to see if there's other ones we want to talk about first, because I personally believe that, I mean, those guys swapped back and forth titles. I remember when watching the Grands and like Ronnie crashed in the second main. And I remember watching Ron Haro running down the finish line straight away at the Grands in the middle of the main, jumping up and down and yelling like, yeah. I mean, it was crazy. Those guys were taking each other out all the time, man.
Well, right after I posted Billy Harrison,
Yeah.
the glove thief.
The glove thief.
Yeah, the glover. Billy Harrison chimed in. He goes, dude, he thought the biggest one was Ronnie and Crazy too.
Yeah.
And he remembered that when Ronnie crashed Pete got on his bike. As Ronnie was coming down the last straightaway, Pete cut the track and ghost rid his bike straight into Ronnie.
Yeah.
Right in front of him. And straight head tube to head tube and made him.
That was
wreck.
at Phoenix.
Yeah.
I remember that. 87, Scottsdale.
Yeah, correct. Brutal, man.
Dude,
Crazy.
head on. That
Head
was
on.
crazy, man. People
Head tube to
shit
head
their
tube.
pants. Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, these are your champions.
But those guys, they swapped titles back and forth, and they wrecked each other.
I mean, stone cold wrecked each other.
Didn't hide it, didn't try to hide it. And it was like, sometimes they'd take each other down and they would just get up and look at each other like, okay, I guess we did it again,
Yeah.
But I never, aside from that deal that happened at Scottsdale, man, I never saw them fight off the track. It always seemed like they handled it on the track.
I wonder about that. I wonder how that got handled because, Pete being a martial arts guy And at the time, so pumped up on steroids, it was huge. You know, it could have been roid rage. And then crazy Ronnie, who knows what could have happened, you know?
Yeah.
Who knows how that would have turned out. But somebody would have went to the morgue and the other one went to prison. That's what would have happened, I think.
Yeah, that was wild, man. Those guys, I think that's the biggest rivalry for sure. For me.
That is too. I think so too. If I backed up the time clock a little bit, when I first started, it was Kevin McNeil and Frank Post.
Yeah.
They happen to be two of the dirtiest riders ever in the sport, would take anybody out, but they seem to always take each other out.
Right.
And the same thing at a national, and if I'm not mistaken, it may have been the Grands. You know, McNeil crashed Post, and coming around the last turn, Post jumped up on he cut the track, went to the top of the last turn, and when McNeil went around the turn, he just threw his bike down on top of him, right on his head, and he wrecked. Yeah, same thing in a huge arena. You know, there's no one cares who's looking.
We need more of that. They need more of that.
That makes for a great, like you said, dude, when you know those two were on the gate,
right?
If you knew Crazy Ronnie and Pistol Pete were on the gate, dude, you just ran. You would not gonna miss that.
Right. And it was, I mean, I think McNeil had that deal with Patterson too, right? Remember when he cleaned him out in Elkhart? I think he took Patterson out, right?
Well, come on. I will tell you, from 1976 to 1981, McNeil took everybody out.
Oh man,
there was nobody he didn't cut off, crash or wreck or kick or.
Yeah,
he was just. I mean, he would bend your chain wheel with his front wheel, just T-boning you so hard. and I remember him coming to the local track. You know, I shouldn't say him coming. We went to his local track and practice out in the field. And the dude, you would take off. He'd be just sitting on his bike, relaxing. And you'd say, I'm going to go for a lap. And you take off. And all of a sudden, like the second or third turn, he'd come on the inside. He would sprint to catch up to you. You didn't know it was coming. And he would just wipe you out. And he'd say, you got to get ready for racing.
Hey,
man, I'm 13 years old.
What about
Kevin? That girl's a powder puff. What are you doing?
What about his?
You got to get ready for racing.
What about his Walkman with the tapes?
Oh, unbelievable.
Hey, you're freezing up a little bit, Hollywood.
Oh, let me just tell you. He used to always have the first guy I knew that had a Walkman, and he would always had it on. He'd be lifting weights, doing sprints, doing starts. And one time his Walkman he took it off and he was laying on the hood of the car. And I had to know. I was wondering what he listened to. So I picked it up and I put his earphones on and I hit play, and it was his voice. It is his voice saying over and over and over, "You are a lion. Everyone else are chickens. You are a lion. Everyone else are chickens." Over and over and over. That's what he listened to when he practiced.
Holy cow.
ABA #1 pro.
Wow.
It's amazing. That's so good. I love that story.
That's motivation, man.
When another one, when I first started in the amateur ranks, hold on. Who do you guys think the best amateur rivalry was? Besides Sherry Elliott, Mark Lopez.
Mark Perez.
I'm sorry, Mark Perez.
Mikey and EC.
That's what I thought too.
Yeah, that was pretty heated there for a minute, wasn't it?
Yeah, and it carried on into mountain bikes.
It did all the way.
Yeah. That was very, very good. Very great rivalry.
It was crazy too, man. Because we would, I mean, when we were amateurs, we went, we were on different teams and stuff. But I was buddies with him before he got on Huffy. I remember hanging out with him at Devonshire Downs, and then after he got on Huffy, we're still friends with him. And then, we kind of we would talk, we were cordial, but when we got to be 16 to 18, we didn't talk as much, and we would wreck each other. I remember he wrecked me at where we were in Texas, and it had one of those Grands turns, those wedge turns, first turn. So short, straight, cow barn bullshit. And then we went over the wedge Grands turn. Second turn was an off camber flat turn. And I beat him out of the gate. and he came around the outside of me and he did the crazy Ronnie trick where he put his foot over my back tire and kicked my back wheel and made me slide out. And I'm sliding out and he's going around me, and I just slinged my bike out in front of him. And he endoed off of my bike, and then I pulled my bike back. I got back on my bike and took off, dude. Qualified. But yeah, it was bad, man. I mean, we wrecked each other. I know Grand's 87 in the open. He wrecked me in the second corner. I got up and I was running with my bike, and I hipped my bike so it would hit him as I was running by. And I T-boned him at NBL Grand's first turn, open main. It was 16 and over. He was high-lowing. He was going to go by the whole pack. Dude, I blew him up. We both blew up. I didn't care. But that's the shit that we would do to each other all the time, man. But he pushed me.
Again, yeah, it pushed you, but I don't remember you guys fighting or having.
Never.
Did you ever have words? No.
Never.
And I remember you guys would go out together after the races.
Yeah, for sure, man. I would go hang out down at his house. And when we were pro, we would fly in together, stay in the same room, split rental cars. But dude, we got on the track, man. We just want to kill each other. And I mean, I don't know if he feels the same way, but for me, I was like, dude, I want to murder you. All the time, man. I was just like, and he made me, but like Sherry said in her deal, I mean, Sherry was super articulate on her podcast, but dude, it made me better. He made me a better racer, not just in BMX, but I trained and I thought about that guy. I mean, there was other guys in my class that I thought about too, but like Mikey he was the guy, he was the guy. He was just the guy that you wanted to be.
I think his brother, Eddie, when he was an amateur, had a huge rival. Lee Medlin.
He did.
Yeah.
Right.
The magazine would always try to put Chris Hopkins in there from JAG with them, but it was Lee Medlin and Eddie King in that age group.
Yeah.
Huge rivals. And
they
was funny is they what?
I was going to say it carried on for a while, like till just recently, right?
Yeah, from 13 years, from like 12 expert all the way to pro.
Well, I'm saying even till they were adults, after they were done racing, I think, didn't Eddie say that he just a couple of years ago actually got to talk and meet with Eddie or with Lee, and then he realized they were cool.
It was funny is they both left racing and they both went into real estate.
I know.
And they were both very, very successful, and they have somewhat similar personalities.
Yes.
They're kind of reserved. There's they keep a straight face. They are closet funny.
Yes.
Very
witty, both of them.
Very witty. Always in shape. And it's funny that rivalry, like EC said, until just recently.
Yeah. I know. It's pretty crazy, man.
What about? I mean, there was always the East Coast, West Coast rivalry.
Yeah, I was gonna say NorCal, South and Southern California.
Oh,
that was huge.
That's from the birth of BMX. It was always not NorCal, NoCal.
Yeah,
I'm a SoCal guy, so it's NoCal.
That's right. Yeah, it was
because that rivalry still beats right here in my heart. It
does.
Still beats.
That's like one step below Giants Dodgers, huh?
That's right. It's the same thing, Giants Dodgers.
Exactly.
I give John Cruz a pass because he's my guy, but that's the only guy that gets a pass.
Yeah.
So is that a real rivalry in that you're getting up on the gate and you're like, he's from Northern California, I got to beat that guy.
Yeah, absolutely.
100%.
Absolutely.
And when you would go race in NorCal, and SoCal guys, you would get on the gate, NorCal guys would be yelling, "What up, NorCal?
Wow.
These SoCal punks," like stuff like that. They would be heckling you from the side of the gate while, when you were getting ready to go. Yeah.
And if you finished fourth in the semi and the guy behind you was from NorCal and he got fifth, they would just, all of his buddies, they would ride him hard, man, about that. Dude, you can't let that. No. Yeah. Poser. That's everyone from Southern Cal. Oh, you're only, you're not even fast. You only got in the magazine because you're from Southern California.
From SoCal. Exactly.
How many times did I hear that, man?
It's the same. It's the same with the East-West.
Yeah.
I mean, that's Judd's
For
biggest.
sure.
That's Judd's biggest beef, right? Judd's is
Yep.
like, I mean, I know Judd thinks he's supposed to take my spot in the Terrible 10. The only reason I got there is because I was West Coast. That's why.
And pretty.
That's where all the magazines were.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah, you were where the magazines were kissing everybody's ass.
There had to be some East Coast rivalries that we probably don't know about. I can think of a couple, but there were some. I'm sure there was East Coast guys that were rivals. Like I know one that goes on till today. Now, Judd Ciencio and Rich Farside.
That's right.
Really?
New Jersey guys, yeah. And when they line up for a mountain bike race today, it's the same. Just wrestle. They just
Judd is
the gate drops and they cut each other off, man.
I think it's just Judd, man. You know why? Judd gets so salty, right? And Judd to get super motivated, I think he needs to create that tension.
Judd goes on a roid rage, except for he doesn't do steroids.
Exactly. Dude, how much does Judd hate the AVA guys? Dude, the last year he raced at the USA BMX. I remember I was watching the live feed, man. I was screaming at the he was up for the title, the overall title. I wanted to win it so bad, man. And he was like, he said, dude, I got on the gate and he goes, those jackasses, I've been racing for how many years and they couldn't pronounce my last name. They messed up his last name.
Probably doing it on purpose.
And that's what he says.
He swears it.
They do that shit on purpose. They wanted to mess with me.
Yeah,
and I totally
he's on the gate, not thinking about not thinking about his gate, not thinking about when it's going to drop. He's thinking Cinzano, Chinzano, it's Ciencio. These guys are always. It's one more way they're screwing me. It's because I'm from the East Coast.
And dude, after that, he quit. He was like, "Screw this. BMX is stupid. I hate the sport."
Oh, man.
I love Judd, man. He is salt of the earth. One of the funniest guys to hang out with.
Oh, it's great. And he's easy to get wound up.
He is
fun to watch when you do this. He's fun to watch when you do it.
I love it.
He gets so mad so fast.
Oh.
Hey, I remember one. Speaking of Timmy Judge and Vince Asbury. Both Florida guys, both older amateurs, and totally different styles. Totally different. And they were rivals.
Wow.
I remember them being rivals. I remember Timmy talking to me about that.
What about were Richie and Charlie Williams? Was that a rivalry? Not really.
I don't know about that. I don't think so. But
because I wasn't
East
racing.
Coast. No,
I wasn't racing a lot of nationals. I mean, I wasn't fast. I wasn't on a factory team or anything when I just saw those guys in the magazines.
Yeah, I don't know if they even actually raced that.
Yeah,
I think back of. I don't think Richie had any rivals. He was just smoking everybody.
Yeah,
I know.
Yeah, geez.
Hard to be a rival when you're half a straightaway behind.
True story. Yeah. I know. I got one. It's a local, my local one, but it was a big one. It was huge. It was Brian Gass and Billy Griggs.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Really?
Dude.
Yeah, Orange Y. They would take each other out. Actually not just Orange Y. Pretty much any track in Southern California.
Yes.
Oh wow.
They lined up, and Robbie Taft was in the mix a little bit too. Those three, but it really was Gass and Griggs and Orange Y. And dude, I'm telling you, all the time.
That had to be great to watch.
Oh, dude, it was that's where I get my thought of rivalry, because that race was coming up.
Everybody ran to the gate to watch it.
Everybody ran to the fence.
Yeah,
because they knew what was coming. And down the back straight, man, one would be in front and the other one would be coming down the back straight, and you could hear the crowd go, oh, and boom, fucking clean each other out, man. You just be like, I can't believe they did it again. Amazing.
You know, on our podcast, some of the guests we've had, I thought they had some pretty good rivals. Our guests did. I mean, like I said, we had Stuart and Greg. That was certainly a rival. I put Tommy Brackens, his rival when he was on Powerlight. His rival was Jumps. When he got in Torker, that all changed. But man, before that, any Jumps, man, it was his rival. I had Perry Kramer, guest on our podcast, and facial hair. First none. Then he went all in. Now he's trimmed it back and it's went south. He's always had some kind of rivalry with facial hair.
Oh my
But
God.
my favorite rivalry that continues to this day,
Bomber.
it was Grubbs and Bomber.
Grubbs and Bomber.
Still a great rivalry, man.
That is.
Stop.
It's funny. It's great.
Well, I didn't realize it was that crazy, man, until we had him on, and that was hilarious.
You know, we know about like Grubbs versus Bomber, but there was Grubbs versus Redline, his own sponsor. They kicked him off.
Yeah.
Grubbs versus Woodward.
Yeah.
He had rivalry there. Camp kicked him out.
I got a good one.
Yeah.
I got a good one. I think GT versus Diamondback.
Oh yeah.
Teams.
Remember that?
I think GT.
GT versus everyone at the time, right?
Everybody.
At one point.
GT
Remember Sandy Finkelman?
Yep.
Dude, and there was something happened with Don Krupe too with Sandy Finkelman, I think. I think Don punched him or fought him or something because he said something to Ryan when Ryan was coming up.
Yeah, I don't doubt it.
But
I don't doubt it at all.
But I know Doc Schofield was the head of the GT guys and the then you had the other guy, then you had Finkelman and that crew. And Howard Wharton?
Howard Wharton, yeah.
Yeah, man. Those guys.
I think, like I said, I think free agent versus everyone in the late 80s. Diamondback versus everyone in the early 80s.
Right.
And
Diamondback, I always looked at Diamondback and they had the colors and everything. They were the Raiders.
Yeah.
They were
Diamondback
the
were
Raiders. Well, if they were the Raiders, then who was boss?
Boss wasn't allowed.
The Bad News Bears.
Man.
Yeah.
Boss got disqualified from the NFL, dude. They couldn't get in.
But
because I think it
was always big.
Always.
Actually.
Dude, Boss. Was it Ingram? I think Thomas Ingram was with us. This is a bad story, but it's hilarious, man. So we were at a KOA in Wisconsin, maybe Kansas. I don't know. We were back east, and Boss had gotten in trouble somewhere, and they basically came to the campground, and the police chased him into the KOA.
Jeez.
And Ingram, pretty sure it was Ingram. He ran, and so he came over to our campsite and asked if he could hang out. And my parents, yeah, it's all good. You can hang out. So my mom went and was poking around. My mom, where my mom lives, she's always peeking out the window and stuff. So their nickname for her in the neighborhood is Mrs. Kravitz. Because she's so nosy. So she's walking around the KOA trying to get some information. She comes back to our van, right? And it's sun's down. And she's like, well, the cops are over there. They're trying to bust them. They're looking for them. And she's talking to me. She's like, well, where'd Thomas go? Where's he at? And Thomas was sitting in my van. It's pitch black. And he goes, I'm right here. She couldn't see him because it was so dark. Oh my gosh. But yeah,
he's sitting right next to you, changed his hat, changed his shirt, got a mustache on.
But we let Thomas hide out in our van, man, from the cops when they were chasing him. I think they got busted for doing something at a laundromat. I think they were stealing coins or something.
Oh, jeez.
It got all busted.
On my notes here, this is so funny that you brought that up because I put team rivalries, GT versus free agent, GT versus Diamondback, GT versus everyone. Then I put boss versus the law.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it was. How about team rivalries, man? What there was Eagle Snacks used to that was an East Coast, West Coast.
Yeah.
It was Eagle
Snacks
Snacks Free Agent is what it was. It was Eagle because I
Oh.
remember Bernard Gant and Kenny May. Dude, those guys.
Oh yeah.
Those guys took each other out all the time. And when Kenny would crash, all of the East Coast guys, all the Florida people would cheer, dude. Completely. They loved it. And Lyons was in the mix there too. He was getting his belly button and his belly in the mix and beating people out.
Backflipping into somebody.
Exactly. Oh my god. Those guys, that was good, man. I enjoyed watching those that free agent, the Eagle Snacks thing, man. That was fantastic.
Yeah. All right,
Dude,
you want to switch topics?
No, I got more.
You got more on the
Did I
right?
ever tell you guys about
Right, go.
speaking of head-ons, did I ever, Mike, I think I told you about the head-on that I did with Tony Zanaka at Daytona. Did I ever tell you about that?
Oh no.
Oh, dude. It was so good. I didn't have a rivalry with Tony. I actually liked Tony. He was a really nice guy. And I loved racing him fast. He's a fast Florida kid. And for some reason, man, I don't know what happened. We were at Daytona and this was like I think I was on Hyper at the time. I was on Hyper and after I come back, spring break, it was a midweek race at Daytona. You know, it was a pass a hat around pro thing. We were out there having a good time. And then I think it was Pro Open. He thought I cut him off or something. I don't know, man. And I was like, I don't even know what you're talking about. And he was mad. So we get on the gate. We're sitting on the gate and he looks right over at me. He goes, "Are you ready?" And I was like, yeah, I'm ready. He's like, "It's going down right now, man. Bumper cars. You're going down." I was like, shit. Okay. Yeah, okay. You know, so we get out of the gate, go through the first turn, and he's behind me. Milham's in front of me. I'm in second, and Tony's in third. And we go around it's a kind of a dog leg thing, and then a hairpin, and then it comes back into this third turn as a hairpin turn. So we're going into the turn, and I'm like doing one of these deals, and I'm trying to use Milham as a block, and Milham checks up and leaves me exposed. And dude, Tony just cleans me out. Boom, stands me up. I blow off the turn. Crowd's cheering. They think it's hilarious. You know, everybody loves seeing shit like that. Well,
East Coast,
he
West
didn't knock
Coast.
me down. I didn't crash. So he stands me up, and then so out of the turn, that next straightaway, it's a bunch of rollers, and then it does this right-hand turn into an elevated flat corner. Well, I just ripped down the infield, dude, across the hoses and the rakes and shit. He's going over the jumps, and he comes around the last turn, and literally, dude, I just hit him head on. And that last turn is elevated like 6 feet off the ground, and he flew off the turn, landed in these ladies, this guy in this gal's pit, landed on their dog. I didn't even finish the race. I hit him, and I stopped, and I just looked at him. I think I said something like, "Are you ready?
Are you ready?
Are you ready?" Oh, he wanted to fight me at the finish line. He was so mad at me, but I like Tony. That's why I was like, dude, this sucks. I like you. Why are you mad at me? I didn't mean to cut you off, but I did. But you know how it is, dude. My dad always taught me, if you can handle it before you get to the finish line, you handle it on the track. If you get taken out and you can grab them, take them down with you. If you can't, try to get to them before the finish line.
Yep. And if that doesn't work, get him the next moto.
That's right. But you definitely handle it before the end of the race. So we got talked to by Tedesco and knocked that shit off, you guys. But yeah, that was actually a good time. Tony Sheets, rest his soul. He couldn't believe it, man. He was like, "What in the hell are you doing?" I'm like, "Dude, that's how my dad raised me."
Yeah.
Give it back, man.
Tony Sheets.
Tony Sheets.
If you were if you had beef somewhere on the track or in the parking lot, right? That's a guy you want on your side.
Yeah.
Tony Sheets was a good guy to have on your corner.
Yeah,
He was a good guy to have on your side, man. Yeah. JB, did you have a rival?
No, not really. I mean, locally
I can
at
think
Braddock, and you could think of somebody? Marlon?
Yeah.
No. Who?
Well, I can think of two. Darren Waterbury.
Darren Waterbury. I did race him a lot.
You raced him a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
He raced the water
JV,
buffalo, huh?
Yeah.
I don't think
would.
JV had a lot of love for him on the track.
Yeah. I mean, no, I liked him. I just raced him all the time. I just felt like I raced him a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's fast, dude. He's a fast guy. So
He was fast.
yeah. There were a couple
And
of good
of
East
course,
Coast
of
fast
course,
dudes.
his other rivalry was that girl from one of the Clem twins.
Exactly.
She won though.
Shot him. Yeah, she did win. She shot him down.
Dude. I got one.
Go.
Go on.
Harry and Moeller.
Whoa. How about Moeller and Hill?
Yeah.
I
Well,
got three
yeah.
for Moeller.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, Harry and Moeller.
Harry and Moeller. Do you remember that shit?
Oh yeah, dude. I mean, Harry was, by the book. We're racing clean. We're racing hard. And then Moeller wasn't serious. Messed around all the time.
Oh, dude.
And would take people out for a laugh. And he would cut people off for a laugh.
I'll tell you, my class and Moeller at Orange Y. He did what Gass and Griggs did, but he didn't care who it was. If he was in 5th place, he would do that to the guy in 4th place in turn 3, just cause.
Well, hold on. I would say that if you were in the semi and you were in 6th and he was in 7th, he would take you out.
Absolutely. There's no doubt about it.
It didn't make any sense, but it was hilarious to watch because you'd see the guy in 6th sit down and and ride wide in the last turn, and you'd see Moeller just start pedaling on the inside. I was like, "Oh, here it comes."
Dude,
that poor bastard has no idea about what's going to happen to him.
Dude,
right
he
now.
still does that shit. He was doing that shit to people at Frogtown. He's still cleaning people out. You guys see do you guys remember seeing the footage of him and Eric Simmons at Reno?
Mm-mm.
Oh,
dude.
Is this the moonwalk?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. JV, him and Eric Simmons go into a corner. They bang into each other, and then they go into the next corner. It's the last turn, and they do it again. Moeller hits Simmons in the corner before the last. He comes back in, cuts Moeller off, and they both high side and fall. And Moeller he break dances on the ground, he gets up and he starts moonwalking. And Aquaman grabs his bike and it goes across the finish line, and he stops and drops his bike and he runs across the finish line and lays his bike down. And so Moeller comes riding super slow across the finish line and does this huge kick out, boom, on his bike.
Oh my God.
And dude, the owner of Hawk, who sponsored the Aquaman, was standing like 10 feet away, and Moeller is riding by him and he checks him and shoves him off his bike, and Moeller gets up and he's just, dude, Moeller was amazing. He's good.
How about the picture of Chris Moeller taking a dump into Greg Hill's Nora Cup?
I heard about that.
I saw the picture. I've seen the picture.
Yeah.
The picture, the Nora Cup, he's got his Nora Cup up on top of a toilet, and he's sitting up on top of it with his pants down, grunting one out. I've seen the picture. Hilarious.
Dude, do you guys remember how much Moeller would mess with GT? He built a brand on it. I
have company rivalries. My last bit of notes. I put company rivalries. GT versus S&M.
Yeah. It was amazing.
And he used to work for GT. He used to sticker frames and whatnot and do number plates and all kinds of stuff for GT. And then they just said, you know what? Forget Acme. I'm going to go start my own thing, man. Forget the firm. I'm going to start my own thing.
Do you remember?
Was in spite of that.
Yeah. Do you remember when they did the BMX video? And I think it was it 44 something? And it starts out, and Mueller called GT, and he's talking to the receptionist.
He crank called him. Yeah,
he did. He crank called the GT receptionist and was asking for Todd Huffman, and something about, is Todd Huffman going to go for a ride? And she's like, no, Todd Huffman doesn't ride. And Muller's like, oh, Todd Huffman doesn't ride. Dude, he was just taking the piss out of anything GT. He was so smart.
Okay, and so another one of our guests on the podcast.
Hold on, I got to open my door for the dog.
Oh, Marley.
Marley's got to go see Cole. There he is. All right, I'm back. Other guest.
Robbie Morales.
Yes.
Rivalry.
Yeah, there's a rivalry there. Huh?
Rivalry there.
Yeah. There's some beef there.
There is some beef.
Yeah.
There was some beef.
Just a little bit.
That got a little that went sideways and sour.
I'm sure there's more that we don't know, but I mean, you could say that there was for a moment, and we covered this with Charles. For a moment, there was beef between Free Agent and Hutch.
Yeah.
So
Had to be.
That was my fault.
That was a little sour. That got a little sour.
Just for a moment. I mean, but I apologized. I came up with every excuse I could, tried to be nice. And you know what? Think about it this way. 2 years later, 2 years later, she invited me to be a pro on her team.
That's right. That's right.
I mean, yeah,
and you got that killer picture that was in Wahoo's.
I got her a cover on BMX Action magazine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was amazing.
She was a great lady, great family. Brett Shoup too, great family.
Yeah.
And did a lot. Talk about getting a lot of kids to a lot of races for the first time.
Yep.
Fantastic.
No doubt.
Here's one that'll strike with, I think with James, another company rivalry. 09 and Crit Plate for Battle of the East Coast number plate.
I mean, 09.
Yeah, I know where JV's heart is, man. I know where JV's heart is. He's 09 all day long. But
yeah,
I think Mike Rodriguez, fantastic guy, supported a lot.
Great guy.
His son's a Navy SEAL.
Wow.
Dude, his son is, he's just either just did or he's just about to graduate, but his son's going to be a Navy SEAL. Man. Fantastic. But that guy, talk about giving plates out to kids and getting new riders, pumping them up. He was awesome.
Yeah. I crit plated for a little bit.
Did you?
Yeah. Yeah. I ran crit plates. I think me and Charles ran crit plates when we were on Hutch.
Yeah.
Well, 09 might argue they were, their rivalry was with Haro, but I think Haro was always their own. I think that was just a level above.
You think there was more Haro plates out there than 09?
Yes. I don't, and again, maybe I have a jaded opinion because of, West Coast.
I think in the beginning, but I think when 09 really started hitting its stride, to me, dude, that was like,
everybody had 09.
Man, I was so bad. Like when we were on Free Agent, we were running these. What do we have? We had these J2 plates, and then we had these Prime. You guys remember Prime plates? We have a minute
Bomber.
Yeah, and it's Bomber, and then
Arrow made plates.
And what about those Jammer plates?
Jammers.
But we had and then when I got on Hutch, I think me and Charles had crit plates. For some reason, we couldn't do 09. I don't know why when we were on Hutch, but there was a reason. And then when we were on Hutch after that, about halfway through, remember they had the TR, what was it? TRC. We made plates. Remember Hutch made plates.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they were like
THC.
No, it wasn't THC.
It was too hip.
It was TRC. It was Totally Rad Clothing. THC.
It was
THC.
I think
and those things, all they were hard. They were just horror ripoffs. It was
correct.
Just
Absolutely.
Okay.
And
absolutely.
Then when I got on CW, man, I was able to get on 09. And dude, I can't tell you how I was like so pumped that I was going to get to have the the wrap plates
Wrap
with the Velcro
around,
and
yep.
the geo stickers, dude. I was like, I made it. I'm on 09, dude. They're like, now I'm factory. I'm on 09.
When do you guys think 09 hit their stride? When do you think they became the plate, or were on par with Haro?
85, 86.
Yeah. For me, it was 85, 86. Before that,
So
Haro was king.
Mm-hmm.
So here's my point. From say 79 to 85, you'd have to say Haro was king.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
And then from 80, let's just give it to 09 from 85 on. 85 to what? 80
Until the number plates got smaller.
Yeah.
And it became like not cool to have a big number plate with like all kinds of shit on it.
Yeah.
When
I'd
was
say
that?
90s? No,
90,
no.
Early 90s. 90,
Yeah,
91.
early 90s. Right.
Yeah, early 90, 91,
So-
09 kind of fell off, I thought.
Okay, so it's probably even then. Let's call it even, because if it's 79 to 85 and 85 to 90, 91,
Mhm.
yeah. So tight.
It's kind of crazy though that it's cyclical like that, right? It goes in that they went about that long, right? Because plates are so trendy, or were. Now plates are weird, man.
Yeah.
The plates are so weird.
I got another one.
What you got?
Small.
Oakley versus Haro. Oakley versus Amy.
Mm.
Yeah, that was a big one.
Yeah, that was big.
That was actually really big. Grips and goggles,
And
man.
a lot of the guys, you figure like Greg Hill, he rode for a lot of guys rode for one, then rode for the other.
Yeah.
A lot of people rode for both, but they were factory pilots. But then, they would go to Amy for whatever reason,
Yeah,
vice versa.
Oh, to me, Oakley. I mean, I actually was an Amy guy. I rode for Amy, but Oakley was just another step up. I mean,
They were.
Yeah,
It was certainly a different budget. That's for sure.
Their branding, dude. They were so good at their branding. To have the Oakley factory pilot, the colorways that they used, they were just on another level. And it didn't hurt them that they were also in Supercross, and that all of our heroes, O'Mara, Jeff Ward, and those guys, Ricky Johnson, those guys were all Oakley riders as well. And that really, I think. But you know what? You know what ad I really liked, man? It was an Amy ad. Do you remember that cartoon Amy ad?
Yeah, the drawing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that ad.
Dude, that was fantastic.
Do you remember that?
favorite
It was black and white, and it was a scene at a track, but it was all kinds of people drawn in, and it was it was huge. It had so much little details in it.
Yeah,
it was great.
I do remember it.
I'll find it and I'll put it up on the picture here as we're talking.
Yeah, it was that was a great ad. I loved it, dude. Because it had so many of those details everywhere. And you could look in, and there was a van in there, and a team van, and then the team pits, and there was another, and you knew who the riders were.
I remember very right in the front, like front and center, was Debbie Kelso on CW.
Yeah,
I just remember that.
I loved it.
That's right. I do remember it now. Yeah, really cool.
And in the back there was some satanic worship thing going on. It was really small. I don't know if you saw that.
Oh my gosh.
But my last one for company rivalries is racing pants. JT versus Haro.
Was that
I know JV will say 09, of course.
He will.
But,
I thought 09 was in that. To me, from a branding and image, I thought 09 and Oakley they just had a cool factor with the way their lettering was and all that kind of stuff. But 09 never 09 didn't really seem, I mean, I know they made pants, but I never really it was like 09 only made like 20 pair of leathers a year.
Yeah.
I only saw a few people that rode for 09 in 09 pants. I never saw anybody that didn't ride for 09 that had the pants. Where JT,
there was a lot, and Haro too.
And Haro too.
Yeah.
True. I think 09, I think it was more expensive.
Well, yeah.
More expensive.
That's where they came from, right?
That's
Those guys
right.
are in like,
yeah.
Kevin's like big time, dude. Kevin's like a big time fashion guy, man. Like gnarly. I mean, I've talked with him at Grands, and I've actually gone back and forth with him about his resurgence back into the BMX world and stuff. He's talked about doing stuff in the mountain bike world as well. And he was telling me like the people and stuff that he deals with. Dude, he's a gnarly guy in New York City.
Yeah. New York, dude, he was, on the runway in Milan.
Yeah.
I mean, top shelf.
Yeah. High
end women's fashion.
Yeah, man.
So, I mean, the guy certainly was wasting his talents in BMX. You could say he honed them, but that's why everything he did was so stylish.
Well,
he was stylish.
It speaks to what he's doing now, right? Like they have their resurgence that they're doing right now. He doesn't have to do that.
No.
Dude, I think he just he's got the BMX bug, and it's just, once you get bit by it, dude, you never lose it. So he's just back, and he's sponsoring riders and making clothes again, and just he's having a good time with it. That's crazy.
I want to tell you that I've been saving this one. I think for a short minute, I had a rival.
I was going to ask you who it is. Who is it?
For a short period of time, and the magazine kind of blew it up a little bit. And I shouldn't say blew it up, egged it on. When I was a single A pro and doing well and was racing pro open all the time, hoping, just trying to mix it up with the heroes. And I was always thinking when I was racing pro open, I was getting practice. I was getting practice for the day that would come.
Right.
And, with just before I turned AA at Lancaster, I won pro open.
Yeah, I remember
as a single A. That was the first single A to ever win pro open.
Who got your plate?
and somebody got my plate after that race.
Yeah.
Probably one of the most. It was a very, very meaningful win for me.
Dude, that was a big race. There was there was a lot of people at that race.
And to set up and pass Brian Patterson the way I did made it, I raced like a pro, and it felt great. I was doing good all day, but in the main, it just, went from third to second, set up Brian Patterson, passed him clean in a turn, and won, and held him off for the win. It was a big deal to me. And that way, when I went as a single A, then I was like $5 or $15 short of turning AA before that race. So just by winning the pro open, I was AA. So I felt like I was going into the race, the next race, flying high.
Yeah.
Ready to do it. And I think I can't remember what the next race was. It was another ABA race. And Greg clinged my clock in a turn, took me out, cut me off in practice. And it was like a one-man wrecking crew, just kept nailing it. He goes, you haven't earned your place here yet. You haven't earned your place. And I just said, Matt, come on, man. What do I got to do to get some respect? He goes, you're not getting any respect. You get no respect. And so I showed up at the next race, which was going to be my very first A pro race at an NB. It was a US BMX race at Magic Mountain. And I had on my pants, no respect.
Oh.
And so I remember my very first A pro race, I won. And I remember crossing the line, and I remember that he went straight to Tommy Brackens because I passed Tommy, and Tommy didn't pass me back. And he went straight to Tommy at the finish line and was just railing him. Why didn't you pass him back? You should have passed him back. Why didn't you? And I went right up to, Tommy and I hugged. It was great. But then I went right to Greg and I said, do I get any respect now? And you know what he said?
No,
No, still no respect.
I love it.
Oh man, it was a big deal to me. I mean, and I don't know why it meant so much to me to have his respect, but
Yeah.
it did,
Right.
because he was
the guy.
he
Yeah,
was the guy, and he
Of
was.
course.
I think him and Harry were the two guys that really, like, they monitored. You know, they wouldn't let amateurs get in pro practice if they saw it, and if they did, they would, would mash them.
Right.
And they were kind of like the old guard of BMX pros of, no man, you've got to earn your place.
Yeah.
And I guess at that point, until that point, he just wouldn't let me have it. And it wasn't, we never really talked. We really never talked about, we traveled together, raced together, but we really never talked about it until we both quit racing. It was years later, and I saw him at Woodward West, and we had a little chat on the side, and it was like, oh man, that was just part of racing. It's like,
Yeah.
I told him it never bothered me. It was just all part of it, But that was, to me, that was my rival.
Dude, I told the story when I got put into when I got inducted into the Hall of Fame about Doug Davis and myself. And Doug was like, not an idol. He was just a year older than me. But like, as I was growing up, in Southern California, and when Doug was super fast on Torker and Diamondback, he was a guy that I kind of looked up to. I was like, wow, man, Doug Davis. Oh my gosh. And I remember going to the Grands in 85 when I was on free agent. I was just standing behind the start gate, man. And he just, bam, man, he hit my bike so hard, dude, damn near knocked me over. And I like, Jesus. And I looked back and I was like, what's up? And he looked right at me, dude, right in my eyes, and goes, you don't have what it takes. You're going to choke. And I did, man. I froze, dude. I froze in my quarter. I'm racing behind Lonnie Tatton, Lonnie was a fast guy and he was smart, but I was certainly stronger and faster than Lonnie at the time. And dude, I followed him around for half the track, just riding around. I remember getting to the finish line going, dude, I was like a deer in headlights. I completely froze. And I ended up winning open after that. All the pressure was off. And man, I trained the whole year next year on Hutch, so that I could tell that guy, I got this shit, dude. And dude, it was fantastic. I loved it. And I got to see him. I got to see him after the race, man. I just showed him the plate, and he acknowledged it. Like, all right,
Awesome.
you fucking got it, man.
Very cool.
JV, when I was coming back from Frogtown driving with Eddie King, I asked Eddie King about, dude, how come, we were talking about Harry and the rest of the Diamondback team. And I said, how come, it seems like no one on that team was nice.
Yeah.
They were just not nice people,
Never.
And no, it was like, like I knew Ryan Feen or Jimmy Smith, tiny little kid in my neighborhood. Nice kid. Gets on Diamondback. All of a sudden, why is this 6-year-old copping an attitude with me?
Right.
And Eddie actually told me, he said, yeah, Harry and I would tell the amateurs all the time, hey, this is how you have to be. You have no friends. You can't have any friends. You can't be nice to anybody. You have to be mean all the time. And they instilled that in everybody on the team.
It's great. They were the Raiders.
Yeah. They were the Raiders. And you know where the Raiders were from? Northern California.
So crazy.
I'm just saying.
So wild, man.
Wow.
What else you got?
All right. Let's close it. Let's close it with kind of like a lightning round of sorts. You up for it?
I love it.
Okay.
It's always everything's a lightning round for me, bro.
It's all lightning round when you don't prep for anything. It's lightning round.
Love it.
The whole thing.
All right. So the topic is who won? Okay, who won? EC versus the cooler helmet. Who won?
The cooler helmet, because EC was the loser on that thing.
That thing.
One could argue. I think one could argue. He won because his head was cool. He never overheated.
True.
He said he had bionic hearing when he was wearing it.
I swear by it. I'm telling you, I swear by it. But I'm never going to live that down.
I still say the helmet because
Yeah.
as much as everyone remembers EC, no one will ever forget that ugly helmet.
No.
Ugliest helmet in BMX.
It is. Hey, I got to give you that.
All right. Who's
Good one,
better?
Jay.
Who won? NBL versus ABA.
Oh, I think it's easy. Who's running the sanctioning body now?
Yeah. I think they won out. But I will tell you, my eyes were opened big time when I first went back east to race BMX to what was possible. Because we didn't have Louisville. We didn't have Nashville. We didn't have South Park. We didn't have tracks like that in Southern California on the West Coast. They just weren't like that. And
certainly not nationals. ABA
no.
Nationals,
dude, they were
you inside of the U on cow crap.
It was. So from a track standpoint, I will say NBL for me, hands down NBL.
Yeah.
Now, I do think the ABA, not a lot of guys could transfer out of NBL and come over and kick ass in ABA, but a lot of ABA guys went over and raced NBL and kicked some butt.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
So I don't know who won. I'll say this. I'm not sure who won. I only said, ABA because they ended up running the sanctioning body. Yeah, still doing it.
They have
but I know who lost. I know who the biggest loser was. Whoever was selling Bob Tedesco all of those very short OP shorts. He lost his best customer, man.
Dude, those things were amazing.
God, he rocked. I don't care how cold it was, man. He had those short corduroy OP shorts on all the time.
Somewhere there's a bin with the other half of all those pairs of shorts.
There's miles and miles of corduroy legs somewhere.
Exactly. There's just strips of 3 inches of corduroy OP shorts in a bin somewhere, man.
Oh man, I swear. When we started wearing those Hutch shorts that were long, and I'd look at Tedesco and I was like, man, we're polar opposites right now.
The clam diggers.
My shorts were getting longer and his were getting shorter.
He had the clam diggers. Dude, he had those. I swear, man, he couldn't sit down. His junk would fly off the side. And he had the OP shorts, the tan, and then the trucker hat sitting, but it set high. He didn't have it pulled down. It kind of set high a little bit.
Yeah. Coach Cleats.
All right.
Dude, hold on. One more thing about Bob.
Go ahead.
The best official to be disqualified by.
Yes.
I never got disqualified, but I saw him disqualify other pros. And, and unlike ABA, where it was, they would chew your ass. Bob would just say, hey, you know what? I'm sorry, guy. You're done racing. No, yeah, listen, I'm really sorry, but you're not racing next weekend. He's just, no, come on, guy. You're not racing.
Bob, good people, man.
Great.
He was good people. I love Bob. Same with the ABA guys, man. I love those guys too, man. Clayton, Bernie, Merle, Gene.
Love them.
These ABA guys were characters.
Gene Roden was fantastic because he would do staging. Hey, come on, fellers. Or he'd do when he do the writers meeting. Come on, fellers. Yep. Now settle down, fellers. Settle down.
So good, man. Oh, just a bunch of cowboys that hit on something.
Yep. Hey, Miranda, settle yourself down. I'm trying to talk here. So good.
You do that good.
Oh, goodness.
All right. Style.
Taking
Mike out of it. Judge, Leary, or Cruz? Who won in style? I know it's your idol. Just asking. EC, you agree with that?
I think Cruz. Timmy had good style. He could do some really good tricks. But style Style's a little bit different, right? Like Cruz was all of it.
Yeah.
He was all of it.
Yep.
So
straight teeth.
yeah.
I mean, he was,
But he just, you know what I mean? He didn't like Timmy's tricks were amazing. He was an amazing jumper, and so was Harry, right? Harry would
absolutely
clip those leeries, and he was doing the one-hander ones, and he had some really cool stuff. And Timmy's tables was one-footer tables. I mean, I tried to mimic him. But John's, for me, style is different because John didn't always go to the max as far as he could go on everything. It was just enough, right? It was like just enough where you were like, dude, that looks bitching.
Yeah.
He was the most stylish guy walking to the stack bar.
Yeah. And then there was that side of it too, right?
He was the most stylish guy, you know, just sitting back and laughing in the pits. He was just always just the coolest of cool.
Yeah.
All right.
No doubt.
You want a tougher one?
Yes.
Yeah.
I love this. I could do this all night.
Great job, JV.
Colt versus S&M. Who won?
I have my opinion. Do you want to hear my opinion first?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, how do you judge it? Is it through how do you judge it? Who's been in business longer? Well, you can't judge that because S&M got a bigger start.
Right.
Who's selling more bikes now?
Yeah, I guess you can look at it that way.
Yeah. I would bet that Colt is selling more bikes than S&M right now.
You think so?
Yeah, I think the numbers are probably bigger. I mean, and the breadth of product that there is.
Yeah.
In that way, I think Colt. If I was going to go buy a bike for one of my kids, if one of my kids said, "Hey, Dad, I want to ride," I'd buy a Colt.
Of course.
And that's not against Chris it's not against Chris. It's more against S&M. It's pro Colt. It's pro Robbie.
It's pro Robbie.
Yeah.
It's pro Robbie.
Robbie's
if Robbie named his company piece of shit, then I might refrain from buying it. But other than that, I'll never buy a weed grinder from him or weed socks.
Right.
But I'd support him to the end of the earth.
Well, you support your brother.
Yeah, exactly.
You support your little brother.
So I guess I can't answer because I'm biased. I'm totally biased. I'm trying to massage my answers to show it.
I can look at it two ways, right? And we have, to be fair, we haven't had Chris on to get his side of the story. We've gotten Robbie's side. Now, I will say I'm closer with Robbie than I am with Chris because I had more life experiences with Robbie. Robbie is literally like my brother. I spent a lot of time with Robbie actually when he came out to California. A lot of time. But from a brand standpoint, I mean, I think S&M is a bigger brand. I don't know, man. I'm not in the BMX world. I think they're a bigger brand. I think Robbie now, his social media stuff, I think is actually really cool.
Yeah.
What I do like is that from Robbie's standpoint, the way we understand the story, he got fucking thrown to the wolves, dude. And he survived. And so like, that's a win to me. Like that's a big win because, Robbie had to learn. I know that Robbie knew some stuff about that world that Chris was living in and running the company. I guarantee you Robbie didn't know all of it. Robbie was a face of a brand that him and Mueller came up with, and he was a social media guy and he was out in the field. He wasn't in the nuts and bolts digging in and doing the stuff that Chris was doing. He had to learn all that shit, dude. That's gnarly, man. That's a hell of a story. It's a hell of a success story for a guy like Robbie, who the Naga.
Yeah, exactly.
The baby Naga to the Naga tycoon.
The baby Naga, man. He made it happen. And man, how about that warehouse he had? Dude, he had that shit. That shit was going on. There was a lot of stuff in that place, man.
Yep. Huge.
So I don't know, man. I think that one really depends on if you judge it on what the brand has been to the industry. I think S&M would have to take the title because they've been there for so long. But
and really created their own market.
No doubt about it. They did.
That's
did they
why
start the
I
street?
do have,
They started the street thing. S&M.
I won't say they started, but they started like the anti-firm, if you will, the anti-establishment BMX, the punk rock of BMX. So however you want to word that, I think they really started that movement and capitalized on it. And for that, I have the utmost respect for Chris, because he did what Robbie had to do. He started it by the seat of his pants.
He did.
And I don't care where seed money came from. I don't care what he did to get there. He did whatever it took to get there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even shitting in Greg Hill's Nora Cup.
Right. It's I mean, that's what
And that was all part of it.
And he did create that, man. So think about it. Think about how we used to do it before, right? Hollywood. We would go in the early 80s before S&M happened. There was just race bikes. There was freestyle, but freestyle wasn't what S&M is. Freestyle was those guys poking around on flatland. I mean, super talented, but it was never my thing. And then it was guys like Eddie and Dominguez and those guys ripping skate parks. That was insane to me. So there wasn't dirt jumping, there wasn't street. And S&M, I think they ushered that in, man. I think they were the first real company that really pushed that segment of it. And like you said, dude, it doesn't matter who I don't know where he got his seed money, but it doesn't matter because he executed with it, right? He made it happen.
Yeah.
Yes. He's a marketing genius. He created a brand. He created a movement. I mean, that was impressive. But I still, for Robbie, man, to be able to make it the way he did after getting thrown out,
gotta respect that.
Hats off to Robbie, dude. Hats off to the cool boys.
How do you see it, JV?
I think I see it the same way. We're both seeing it. I mean, it just depends on how you look at it, but S&M being kind of like pioneers in it. I think if you're looking at that component, yes, they're probably out in front, I would say, in that way.
Dude, he was so smart, right? Like,
yeah,
he was Metal Militia before. He was Metal Militia before Metal Militia.
Exactly.
Yeah, but the other side of it is the rebound component. So it's hard to say who won, right. But yeah, it's a good one. All right, ready?
I love it. Keep it coming, JV.
This one's for Mike. Chris Williams versus the national anthem at Howard County. Who won?
The national anthem was the loser on. The national anthem was the loser on that one.
Yeah, Chris beat the hell out of that one.
Dude, to go into puberty right in the middle of the national anthem, man, to have your voice cracking like that was so good.
It was great.
Absolutely etched into my memory that happened, and I kept, people were laughing and some people were making faces, and I just kept shaking my head, thinking, "Man, the balls on that guy!"
Yeah, yeah,
how brave, man! How brave! And he had to have practiced, and I wonder, maybe nerves or something. But man, brave! It was awesome.
All right, last one. BMX Plus versus Action.
That's a no-brainer to me. That's BMX Action all the way.
Again, how do you measure it? Right? How do you measure it? BMX Action started first, but you go to any 7-Eleven or any supermarket, and BMX Plus was on the shelf. And when BMX Action closed its doors, BMX Plus didn't even slow down. They kept on until, I'm not even sure they're still not in business.
Right.
But, I mean, so again, how do you say who won?
I never missed. I couldn't wait for the next BMX Action to come out, and I didn't miss that. But if I missed a BMX Plus one, it just didn't, to me, it didn't carry the same level of prestige. It didn't. I mean, I just didn't. When I looked at BMX Action I don't know what it was, man. The captions, Oz's vocabulary, the storytelling. Dude, Oz was the story. He could tell the way he would cover I don't know if he was the one writing them, but the way they would cover a race and the way they would describe it with the little sayings, he would take those country song sayings and blend them in. Dude, it was just better to me.
And the way he gave nicknames and the way,
it was just better to me. And I like
JV, you got them both. What did you think, JV?
Yeah, I didn't really read too much in any of them. Just go through and look at everybody's picture for the most part. But what I do remember is the BMX Plus test pilot uniform was actually pretty cool looking. That's what I remember.
Yeah.
And Mike, you had one of those.
I was a tester. Yep, I was a tester for BMX Plus. And I did it to get coverage. I did it for the check.
Yeah.
We got a small check for testing.
And it was, and I agree, but when the counterpart to that, right, is when BMX Action did a test, right? They would sell it, right? It was like, oh, we're in the mist shrouded headquarters, the secret compound. And you were like, oh my gosh, this place is, they sold you. They told the story.
Yeah. BMX Plus, they covered the race.
Yes.
They did the test. They did the shootout.
And they had the circulation.
And they had a formula, and they literally had a formula for their product. And I mean, that was a template. And I've been to the offices. It was a template that they followed. And BMX Action was, like you said, they sold you the steak and the sizzle. I mean, you got the whole prize package. It was the whole story, and it was great.
And that formula still, Mike, I mean, our mutual friend Rich Bartlett, a couple of years ago, he was the editor at Mountain Bike Action, and he was like so excited to take the job. And he went in there and he said, oh man, I'm going to change the culture. I'm going to change the layout. I'm going to change everything. And just not even a chance. Roland and John following Roland's, John's like, dude, I've been here. This is how it works over here. This is just how it is. Like, I know you think you're going to come in here and change this. That's not going to fly here. And Roland he ruled with an iron fist.
And listen, motocross action from then to now, it's the same thing. It follows the formula. Yeah. It's the same formula. I don't care if it's, jet skis plus or sewing machine plus or whatever. It would follow the same thing.
They're widgets because his formula spoke to people, not really the sport. It was like it didn't matter what the sport was. It was like this is his formula for, and it worked. He's a very successful publisher. But
it's like USA Today newspaper versus everybody else. You're not, there's not a lot of, you're just getting the news, just getting snippets, and that's how you would get the paper and move on. And
I'm a big fan of the BMX Action thing, though, man. I thought they did a fantastic job of creating mystery and prestige around their magazine. That's what I liked. Made you curious, made you want more of it.
Yeah.
That's cool. I like that. That's good questions. What else? JV, I know you got more. What do you got?
No, that's it.
What?
A lot of stuff. We actually touched it. So it's not like, there you go.
Well, I don't want to seem biased in any way in answering the question, but it was to get on the cover of BMX Action magazine was everything.
Yeah.
Was everything. to get a picture in the magazine. Was the very first time I got a picture in BMX Action was a hot shot. And you can bet that I went to every 7-Eleven in the greater Inland Empire and opened up every magazine and laid them all out across the front.
Of course.
So everyone could see when you walked in. Well, I will be, if I'm being completely honest, I did it at more than one 7-Eleven.
Of course you did.
Oh, amazing. Man. I love that Toby Henderson has the name and is doing something with it now.
Yeah.
I think it's fantastic.
Dude,
it's fantastic.
That program that they created for Frogtown that they did with Todd, that was unbelievable.
Mm-hmm.
Work of art.
To me, I was talking to Big E about this and I said, man, it's like an issue that was made that we never got to, like it was a lost issue that we never saw, or like a band, it's like, oh my God, I think Queen just came out with a song that they found that was an old song, and they just came out with a new song because it was a lost song, and they published, they put it out. It
was just as good as the other ones. It was great.
That's what the program looked like to me. I was like, wow, man, the letterhead, the font, the layout, everything. It was so good.
Shrouded in a mist coming from the mountaintops.
Shrouded in our mist-covered mountaintop headquarters. What was it? Moto Cat. They had the cat. Remember, they even
Cat
sold the cat, dude. The cat was the mystery cat.
Go Cosmo.
The name Cosmo the cat, dude. They just sold.
How do you remember?
Yeah, I don't know how you remember that.
I remember going to the taco place that they kept talking about, and I went there. I was like, no McGill's Jr.
No,
it's no McGill's Jr.
But even the jumping spot, right? The secret spot, Strawberry Field, the secret spot.
Yeah.
Dude, I was so let down when I went to Coley's house, when I was older, and we drove by. He's like, oh, there's Strawberry Fields. I'm like, dude, that's like on the main strip. Like, that isn't a hidden jump place. That's not a secret mist-covered place.
You bought the sizzle, you bought the sizzle, son. You didn't buy
dude, I bought it all. I was full.
You can't chew on the sizzle.
Oh, all of it, dude. I had all of it. I totally, man, loved it. Me and Salami go through we do a thing. We haven't done it a long time ago. Good friend John Salami, all of our good friend, and super stoked on all this vintage stuff. But we used to do a thing where we did two things. One, we would say the caption. We would try to remember the caption for a given picture. And then we would always do a thing where we name a team, and then we would try to name all the riders for the team.
Oh,
and we would always go back to BMX Action and all the captions and the ads and all that kind of stuff. It was amazing.
We saw a guy so there was me too. Now I go back a little further than you guys. So I had older captions that I remembered.
Right.
And I loved them. Like Who, Stu, Caramba, He Flew. That was one of my all-time favorites.
Right.
And it was amazing. It always stuck, but there was a guy that raced, and he was from the part of town I was, and he was super fast, always stylish, and one of the nicest guys, factory torquer, Brian Dworshak. And Brian Dworshak was at Frogtown, and he's a big guy. He's a big thing in vintage BMX. And an absolute sweetheart of a guy. But he had a caption with his name from I think it was the 1978 LA Sports Arena Grands.
Yeah.
And he's jumping over, the big wooden jump, and it said Brian Dworshak, sizzled in the motos, fizzled in the mains.
Oh,
dude. Yeah, I was a punk ass kid. I didn't know that. By me saying it to him all the time, I was rubbing it in. I didn't take it as that. I just that was the caption.
Yeah.
And I remember, dude, I was, it's like 14 I was probably 14 years old. And I just kept saying, hey, Brian Dworshak, sizzled in the motos, fizzled in the mains. He just turned to me one time at a local race and just, hey, that's enough of that. And it took, I felt terrible. I never said it again. And I think at Frogtown, I think I may have finally apologized for it, but God,
I thought you would have said it again.
Yeah.
No, never.
You've got to say it again, dude. You've got to.
Nope, not now. Now I would say, hey, man, fizzled in the 80s, but sizzled in 2020s.
I love it.
Yeah.
So funny, man.
Okay. Are you done with your rivalry, Jay?
I'm done. That's all I got.
JV,
Yep.
hope your shoulder feels better.
Thank you, sir.
I know an exercise that will help that, but
That's
I also
right.
know one that'll hurt it.
I thought that was one and the same.
That's funny.
It'll only hurt after.
Yeah.
Well,
right.
you guys, man, this was great. I appreciate you guys putting time in. Love it. So excited about our new gig, about our event.
Yeah.
More info to come. Stay tuned, racers and fans and friends. And
It's gonna be
Dirty
a good one.
Knobs, dirtyknobs.com for t-shirts and hats.
It's the good stuff.
Yeah. Hey, and JV, EC, you don't know this, but we started doing something. Whenever someone posts a picture or sends us a picture wearing a Dirty Knobs hat or t-shirt,
Yeah.
we're going to post it on our website and post it on social media.
There we go.
Yeah.
Yep. Dirty Knobs in the wild.
Little
bunch
cross
on there.
promo.
There's a bunch on there now.
I
Yeah.
love it.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you go on our website now, I don't know if you ever have.
I don't think I've gone on the website.
If you go to dirtyknobs.com, you'll
I'm,
see, pictures of Dirty Knobs in the wild.
I don't think I've ever gone on our website. I think I'm following on Instagram though.
Right. Oh man.
I'm following on the Instagram.
Yeah, you haven't liked us on Facebook yet, have you?
I don't think I have.
You probably don't subscribe to the podcast either.
I don't.
It's one more subscriber we could have. All you
Okay.
got to, hey, Eric Carter, all you have to do is click the button.
I think maybe I'll do that tonight.
Oh man, love
I'm
it.
such a jackass.
I love it. Such a dirty knob. Well, fellas, thank you so much. Great night. Great episode. No rivalries.
I love it.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. I'm rolling.
All right.
Good seeing you guys. Talk to you soon.
Love you, brother.
All right,
Later,
love you
guys.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll be in touch.
All right.
Bye.
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 Oh yeah.
Oh, here we go.
Oh,
All right.
Hey.
Hey, late breaking news. So,
Oh, shit.
this is in addition to the rivalries episode. Some shit has blown up on Facebook. Yeah. So, I'm just looking at it now, reading it for the first time right now, about halfway through it, because there's 18 replies. Holy cow. So why don't you EC,
Yeah.
give us the hoedown and the lowdown.
Okay. So to be fair, this is my side of the story. This isn't this other gentleman's side of the story. But this is what I experienced. And so there was on the Facebook post, the 80s BMX page, they posted a picture of a guy I used to race, and his name was Daniel Rojas, and he's a super fast guy from Chile. He's won a couple of world championship races, 2 in his home country, 20-inch and cruiser, and then I think he might have won a class in France in 1990. Anyway, super fast guy. And Craig had posted this cool picture of him from Australia in 89. And then on the comment things, somebody said, Eric Carter's nightmare. And so I got a chuckle out of that. And because he wasn't really a nightmare of mine. And but he was a tough competitor. But he was talking about at the time when I raced him, and he was my nightmare in Chile. But there's a backstory to what happened in Chile. So I never really told anybody about the backstory and the stuff that I knew and all the stuff that went on with it. So anyways, I raced this guy. He was fast, dude. And we show up to Chile. I was talking with Craig about this today. He was cracking up when I was telling the story. I underestimated this guy. I didn't even know who he was. He raced me the year before in Orlando, but I never even really noticed him. So I'm going to Chile. None of the American riders I'm racing, the fast guys that I know, are showing up. So I'm thinking, well, dude, I'm going to go to Chile and I'm going to clean up at World Championships and defend my plate. This is going to be cool. And it's probably not going to be a lot of hard work. Well, we get there. We actually, all the American pros, I went out with them. We went to this bar. I actually went super throttled up, and there was a lot. Basically all the pros went home. I didn't want to go home. So I ended up running out of money and hawking my gold at the bar so I could keep drinking with the locals. So I had to go back and buy my gold back a couple days later. So anyways, basically I was underestimating my competition, which really basically was this guy. We get to the first day of practice and this dude is lighting me up, like just lighting me up. And so when I get done first day of practice and I'm like, dude, I got to figure out what I'm going to do. I got to figure out a strategy here, how I'm going to beat this guy, man. Cause this guy he's faster than me right now.
And I got to win money to buy my gold back.
And I got to win money to get my gold back. So, anyways, we go through the races. The races go down, cruiser main. I don't know. I'm in lane 7 or 8. I'm not sure exactly what lane, but I'm way out there. Rail the first berm, super short first straightaway, like super, super short first straightaway. So I rail the berm, get around the pack, and I'm in second behind him. And I actually tried to pass him on the inside of a dog leg. And I clipped like a course marker and blew my feet off the pedals and dropped back to 4th. Anyways, I got 4th in the main. He beat me there. 20-inch started in lane 8. I think he was in 5 or 6 or something like that. One of his countrymen got in between me and him in the first turn. I never, by the time I got by that guy, I never got a chance to even get close to this guy, Daniel, and battle with him. So he won both classes. And I was pissed at myself because I didn't take it serious. I didn't take him serious. And I felt like I gave titles away that I should have won had I prepared myself. And had I been more serious when I got there. So we go to the awards, we do the awards banquet, everything's all cool. And, I get my trophies. And so after later that night, I was talking with a guy that was in our mains that I met. His name is Gerben Dorlin. He was Corrine Dorlin's brother. And he was the nicest guy, super, super nice guy. Hung out with him at the race a bunch. And we were talking about how fast this Rojas guy was and so Gerben just says to me, he goes, well, you didn't see, he switched lanes with his countrymen in the mains. And so I was like, what are you talking about, man? What are you talking about? And so I guess after they assigned us our lanes, this dude switched out with his countryman, a countryman that was going to be much slower than him and didn't have a chance of winning. So he swapped out so he could be inside of me. So
is that fact? Is that fact though?
I didn't see it. Gerben saw it. Gerben has no reason to lie.
Yeah.
There's no motivation for him to lie, right? We're like,
the
race is over. Nobody's going to get disqualified. Nothing. The results aren't going to change. He just said, matter of factly, like, yeah, I saw him switch cards behind the gate before they got in the gate.
Oof.
So I'm furious now, right? Like, I would have loved to have been inside of him to at least have a shot at him in the first turn. But because I was outside and the first straightaway was so short, I never could even get close to him. And so I never got a chance to battle with him. So this Facebook post comes up. I tell this story on the Facebook post. And so some people are liking it and stuff. Anyways, he gets on and he comments on this Facebook post.
Rojas does.
Yeah, Rojas commented on the Facebook post and said something about like, there's no way I could have cheated because the
No. Say it with an accent.
Yeah, I can't say what this accent. So, he said,
no way I cheated. I need my sheet.
So
I'll do it.
He said he couldn't have cheated because the gates were random. It was a random choice, and they just distribute them randomly. And but he said, you and I both know, no matter what lane it was in, I was going to beat you that weekend because I was much faster than you. So, and then he said,
30 years ago, buddy. Let it go.
Yeah.
Did he say, I would beat you like a piñata?
Yeah, exactly. So I forgot the second part of the story, man. So I had to sit on that for a year. So we go to Australia for the World Championships. And the way I was taught was you try to take care of your shit on the track. Somebody takes you out, you try to take them out then. If you don't get a chance to do that, you take them out, you handle it the first chance you get. So first practice lap, I shove my way in and get in the gate next to him. And I'm trying to cut him off and wreck him. I didn't, but I was trying. And so we finished the track. This is in Australia. And then you run underneath the stadium to go back up to the start hill. It's inside of a velodrome. And so we're under the stands, and I'm yelling at him. I'm just yelling, cheater, blah, blah, blah. I'm yelling at him about his lanes and all that kind of stuff. And he's just riding away from me. Honestly, there's no way I'm sure he didn't even understand what I was saying to him. So it's just some American guy yelling at him, just what's wrong with you? Like, shut up, right? So we get to the end of under the bleachers, and it like bottlenecks up. So I have a chance to get up to him. Honestly, man, I'm riding behind him and I'm looking, the dude's back was like huge. And I'm thinking to myself, dude, what are you doing? So the bottleneck happens. I get up to him. The little shoving thing, I throw a punch. I hit him. It wasn't like a Mike Tyson knockout punch, but I got him. I got him in the face. We were wrestling. Luckily for me, it got broke up because I think he probably would have got the better of me. So it gets broken. So, but I was, I was so mad and furious about it. Like I had to let that out. I had to vent that. So officials, we get pulled aside. I get told I'm going to get disqualified if anything happens again. That was it. I never took him out. I don't even know if I had him in my motos or anything. I don't even know if I raced him the rest of the weekend. That was it. I never raced him, anything. It was done in my book. So anyways, so he commented also about what happened under the stadium and said, yeah, I can't believe you're saying this because, just like in our race, you never even got close enough to me to do anything. So anyways, I commented back about, I found it funny that his comment was that it didn't matter what gate I was in, I would have still beat you. Yeah. And that tells me that, hey,
you cheated.
Yeah, exactly.
That tells you
it doesn't matter that I cheated. I still would have beat you. So,
you know what I love? I love that all these years later, the rivalry is there.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and I never talked to the guy at all.
It's because you don't speak Spanish.
Well, yeah, but I don't know him. I don't know if he's a good guy. I don't know if he's a bad guy. I mean, I understand he's going to, when he's getting accused of cheating at a world championships and winning the title, he's going to try to diffuse that. So I saw his post, and I was like, yeah, but I was laughing at what he posted, but he was a little bit full of himself when he said that, there's no way.
No matter what gate.
Yeah. Cause look, man, if I'm starting inside of that dude, he is not beating me for the first turn. And if he doesn't beat me to the first turn, that means he's got to come around me. If he's got to come around me, we're crashing before he passes me.
JV, rivalries don't go away, man.
I know, man.
So, it's funny, man. I guess he races now. Like Craig told me, I guess Craig has been talking to him and the guy is racing BMX again. I guess he was at the Grands.
Oh,
so I think he was at the Grands last year. So Craig's like, dude, you got to get a bike. You got to race this guy.
No, just walk up and punch him.
Yeah, exactly. So man, I got one.
I got one. Since this was the week of rivalries.
Yes.
And we posted online that it was going to be about rivalries.
Yeah.
Suddenly, out of nowhere, I got a text, not a text, but a direct message from Greg Hill.
No way.
Yeah. I mean, unbelievable. And it's long. Yo, Mike, hoping all is good, man. I was driving the other day and a random thought. I remembered us racing at the ABA Winter Nationals in 1982. Shit, it's been a while. You were in single A and I was in double A and pro open. And we had a big, massive group that day. You smoked us and I got second. And when we came across the line, you turned as you stopped and you said, can you remember? You said, do you respect me now?
Oh,
I was pissed off and can't remember what I said. But man, it's pretty funny 40 years later.
That is.
I wanted to tell you, I think it's pretty cool. Didn't then, but do now. Hope you're having a good day, man. Hope you to shake your hand. And yes, I respect you, brother.
That's so cool, dude.
Yeah.
Dude,
That's
let me tell
bitching, man.
you, I have yet to come up with the words to reply to him, but what I'm going to reply to him is, dude, I respected you then. I've always respected you, and I respect you now.
That's cool.
Yeah,
That's cool.
But who knew that us posting about Rivals would bring this stuff up from all these years back?
I mean, and look, honestly, I haven't thought about that guy for I don't know how many years, man. And dude, I will tell you that weekend in Chile, and I posted this on the Facebook post, he quite possibly, if they timed our laps, he probably could have had the fastest overall lap time, even faster than the American pros. He was flying.
Yeah.
But if I wasn't,
lap times don't matter when you can cut somebody off.
That's right. And if I'm in in my career, it was pretty rare that somebody passed me and I didn't either pass them back or wreck them.
Those are two pretty good options.
Right. But man, I have a ton of respect for the guy for how fast he was. I don't respect him for being a cheater. I don't like cheaters. He cheated.
I want to add one little bit to my story. He said he hasn't thought of it in 40 years. I thought of him just this week because I purchased on eBay my Greg Hill BMX skills book.
No
on this week on eBay, I bought this.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Did you learn anything?
Dude, I think it's super cool, man. I think it's super cool that Greg reached out to you about that. And it just, we've discussed it on, this is going to be an addition to our, to the podcast we've already done, but you talked about that story, dude. So it's so cool that Greg not verified, not that you weren't lying, but like added his spice to it,
Yeah.
So,
well, I can't wait to have him on as a guest.
I know it's going to be good. It'll be, now we can actually talk about it, like get into it.
Yeah.
It's good stuff, man.
Well, guys, awesome. Great addition. I'm glad the people that are listening and watching us are getting into it.
They're getting engaged, dude.
Yeah.
They're asking for specific things that get talked on Facebook and stuff. Hey, put that on your show. So,
hey, and my phone is blowing up with fellas with the Dirty Knob shirts on.
Yeah, so I just saw that.
So we're getting traction.
Yep.
Nice.
Traction for the action, baby. Traction for the action.
Yeah.
I love it.
All right, fellas. Check in. Check out.
All righty.
Check it in.
Hey, Dirty Knobs. We're asking you, our friends, to make a donation on behalf of John Cruz to the Davis Finney Foundation. And that can be done at davisfinneyfoundation.org. That's DAVISPHINNEY foundation.org. Listen, your gift makes a difference, and together we're helping people live better and building healthier Parkinson's communities. So listen, on behalf of John Cruz and the three of us here at the Dirty Knobs, thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Well, I hope you enjoyed that one, you bunch of dirty knobs. I'm going to send a box out to somebody who subscribes. So please do that. Subscribe, hit the subscribe button. Comment if you have anything to say. We'd love to hear it. And we will be back out here in 2 weeks with another one. And thanks to our sponsors. Speaking of which, we are going to read some commercials to you now. Thanks for showing our sponsors the love because they're showing it to us. Thanks again, and we'll catch up to you soon. And then sing it out right now.
All right. Coming live and direct from the Colt Clubhouse in Santa Ana, California. Come on down and get all your BMX needs. We're giving away free air for your tires. That's all I got, brother.
That's great. That's great. All right. Now,
It's perfect.
perfect.
Kinda, designed for your journey. On the road, on the trail, or on the racetrack, you can count on Kinda quality. Our tires are engineered for performance and value across a wide range of interest and applications. See why Kinda is the right choice. It's your move.
Imagine how bikes can lead to a healthier, more connected world. Bikes set us apart, free to explore and move and experience our relationships with people and places like nothing else can. At Ceres, we don't just imagine a more bikeable world, we're all in, making it happen.
SR Sun Tour shares your passion of cycling. We are committed to giving you the highest level of service in the industry, along with products that hopefully will exceed your expectations. Serving riders is the cornerstone of our business, and we pride ourselves in doing it.
Hopefully.
Hopefully. Velocity Bike Park is the premier bike park for riders in Southern California, with 25 miles of world-class trails, obstacles, flow track, and races for mountain biking, gravel, and BMX.
ABC, the American BMX Company, bringing you brands like Race Inc., Cook Brothers, Botima, Box, Kuwahara, and BMX Action. Check them out at abmxc.com. ODI Grips, the world leader in grip technology, home of the lock-on grip system. Check them out over at www.odigrips.com. 4416 Designs commercial, take one.
There you go. All right, 4416 Designs. We make shirts, but we don't sell them. We're just giving back to the sport. If you're out at Ukaipa BMX and you need a shirt, hit me up. I'll hook you up with one.
Yeah, I love that. Mega Design Group is a full-service marketing firm. They handle everything from logos to advertising to packaging. Having over 25 years experience in the print and marketing fields, they can handle any hurdle. Check it out at megadesigngroup.com. Cool Stop Brake Pads. High-performance bicycle brake pads since 1977. Check them out at coolstop.com. That's KOOLSTOP.com. Supercross BMX. What can we say? Our lives revolve around BMX. Founded in 1989 to build the ultimate BMX race frame, they've never strayed from that vision. Hey, for more details, check it out at supercrossbmx.com. Amy Grips is dedicated to using all of its manufacturing strengths, including engineering, research, and development, to successfully prepare for future growth while demanding that the quality of its products provide consumers with complete satisfaction. Making grips since 1974. Check them out at amegrips.com.
If you have a Senna cycling helmet, you know what it's like to ride connected. Senna got their start in communications for the motorcycling industry, where they're now a leader. Senna brought their same tech that goes into those helmet-to-helmet motorcycle communication systems into cycling helmets. Senna bike helmets have an integrated microphone and 2 speakers hidden right into the shell. Senna helmets connect together on a mesh or Bluetooth network so you can talk to your friends while you ride without shouting over wind noise, even if you're not side by side. That is super cool, especially in the trails. Senna helmets also pair with smartphones, so you can listen to your playlist without blocking out ambient noise, and you can take phone calls and even hear turn-by-turn GPS directions.
Check out the podcasts that we listen to. These are our friends. We wouldn't be here without their help. So give them a check out. And finally,
keep it dirty. But you have to subscribe first.
Yeah.
Ding, ding.
Dirty Knobs Podcast site and YouTube.
Hey, by the
Look at that.
Look at that.
Hey, look at that. I
Son
want
of a
that. Hey,
shit.
we have a website.
It's real.
Hey, did you see? I'm building a banner for our YouTube page. Look at you. El subscribo.
What did it
Want
tell
to
you?
subscribe to this channel?
Log in.
Oh, dude, I don't have a login.
There you go.
I need to
gotta
sign
log
in.
Yeah. You don't even have do you remember your password?
I don't have
He
one.
doesn't
Probably
have
never
one.
have. You probably
Yeah.
doesn't have a YouTube account.
I
You got to
don't.
do that.
No, he's got to
Well,
do
sign
one.
up so you get one. It's free.
It is free.
Geez, you're gonna make me work. It'll be just another password you forget. You have to write it in your three-ring binder.
I'll put it onto my sheet of paper with all of my passwords.
Oh my gosh, so good.
Good Lord. I'm bad.
JV, what do you got? What's this white cord coming out from behind you? What is that?
What do you got?
I was looking at that the whole night.
What do you got, JV?
What is
The
it?
landline. It's the land. So I connect to a landline from my computer.
Yep.
It's in the
It's a
closet.
landline for your what? For your robocalls? What do you?
No, it's for my
landline.
work computer, so I don't get cut out on when it's on Wi-Fi.
Is
So I'm
that the rice
connected
cooker
right to
in the
the-
closet?
I'm connected right to the router.
It is.
Oh, so yeah.
Oh, there's always rice in the house. Cooker never shuts off.
Yeah.
Dude, there was at JV's at his parents' house. There were always pickles too. Always pickles on the table.
Pickles.
The little sweet pickles.
No way.
Yeah. Loved eating at JV's. It was always rice, always food, always pickles.
They cooked a
Love
lot.
it.
All right, I got to roll.
Where you going, JV?
I got to take care of my shoulder. Take another.
I thought you were
Vicodin and tequila.
No, I can't. I'm not going to drink anymore.
I'm not drinking anymore.
Give that a break because I think that flares it up or something.
I think you need a massage. I'm telling you, massage.
Well, I'll see the doctor tomorrow, so we'll see what he says.
It causes swelling, dude.
Massage does?
No, alcohol.
Because massage always causes swelling for me.
Does as well. Hey, Hollywood.
Yep.
I
Yo.
thought you were supposed to be in Oz.
Dude, I got sick as a dog.
No way.
Yeah, so I was supposed to fly out on Wednesday.
Yeah.
And on Monday, I started feeling it. And I thought, I could probably, it'll be all right. Tuesday morning,
Done.
dude, losing it out of both ends. I was in the bathroom the entire day. I was like,
you got
maybe it'll get
monkeypox.
better. Yeah, I got the monkeypox.
Ooh,
You got monkeypox, dude.
Oh, dude,
damn.
I was shitting monkeys and gorillas out of my ass.
Oh.
It was bad. And I just thought, dude, there's no way I could get on an international 14-hour flight.
Dude, you would have roosted the bathroom.
I would have been like Cole, just throwing the toilet paper inside the trash can.
You would have been
We
like
wanna get rid of
this.
the napkins.
Ding. Excuse me, Miss Stewardess, can I get a seatbelt in the bathroom?
No
You guys
joke.
you got a latch for that?
Yeah.
I knew a guy, old work colleague, that told me a story when he was traveling overseas and he got food poisoning, and he was in the bathroom, and the stewardess knocked. She knocked on the door and was like, "Sir, are you okay?" He's like, "I have food poisoning. I'm going to be in here the whole ride. So just tell everybody it's out of order. I'll be me in here.
Yeah.
It'll be me in here. I'm okay, but
Oh,
I can't go. I'm not going out there."
That's amazing. Yeah, like what are they gonna do, right?
Yeah. No, but I mean, he's gonna be running back and forth.
Yeah.
Knock, knock, knock. Sir, would you like some peanuts?
Yeah. We're doing service now. Would you like us to just
Yeah.
bring it in here?
Sir, we're gonna leave some peanuts and ginger ale by the door for you.
You want a pillow and a blanket? Getting ready to turn the lights
Sir,
off.
yeah. Could you please lower your window blinds, sir, please? Oh man. Oh yeah. I hated missing that trip because it's first of all, it's a fantastic trip. I've made friends over there.
Yeah.
The guy that puts it on, Mark Twoff, is like a brother to me, man. I love the guy.
Wow.
And it just killed me not to be able to go. But What
Yeah.
else are you gonna do? You just gonna say
What are
that's
you
the
gonna
way
do?
that's the way it works? Yeah. What are you gonna do?
There's some crud going around right now, man. There's some crud in our town. I guess a bunch of kids they're influenza A is what they have.
So they have the flu.
Yeah, I guess the A version is like it's gnarlier.
Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't even hear that.
Yeah.
If A stands for out of your ass,
That's
I had that. That's what I had.
That's the one you had too?
That's the one I had too.
That's very technical. That's probably what it is.
That's
Yeah.
what it was. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Oh man.
JV.
Well, yeah, JV.
JV was a Burgermeister.
Oh, you saw that,
You're the Burgermeister.
brother. You know, you got to try it out. I guess, you know, you see it. I saw it, and I'm like, there's no way I could pass this up.
So you were in Germany. You were in Germany,
in
and
Germany.
you saw a sign that said Burgermeister.
That's right. And I
And
said,
you went in there and tried to say, "Hey, man, you're infringing on my copyright name here."
my former company. No, the letters are actually exactly the same. There must be, you probably can't, it's probably just a German, you know, kind of like font that goes with everything. So, but it looked exactly the same font as Jägermeister, but it was Burgermeister.
Perfect.
And yeah, it was near my hotel. I was hungry. I stopped over there. It was crowded. There were a lot of people. I didn't know.
Yeah, but the question we have for you, Burgermeister, is how did it match up? How did it fare on the Burgermeister scale?
So I thought it was pretty good. I'd go there again, probably like, you know, high sevens if I'm rating it. But I was pretty hungry, so it's tough to tell because I'm on the wrong time zone, and you know, like I'm a little messed up. But I'll tell you, this kind of story is a little bit funny because I go there and I don't know how to order. Like there's two people working it, they're making shit, and then I see QR codes and I'm like, you know, how do I order? I go, do I order on my phone? Do I use my phone? And they're like, yeah. And I go, QR code, order on the phone. So I order on the phone, and it's kind of like a, you know, like a grub, like you end up ordering like you would if you were home ordering for pickup. So it's like your wait is 15 minutes. Meanwhile, I'm waiting because I'm waiting for it to come. I think that's how you order it. People start walking up, and there's a fucking counter over there that they're taking orders. And their food's coming out, and I'm waiting for my pickup because supposedly I'll be home. But yeah.
You know, that's what you were saying, but the guy behind the counter was all he heard was, yeah, I'm an American and I don't know what to do here.
Do I order on the phone?
And his name,
go.
yeah.
And I was thinking,
we make it a spit and into the burger.
Meanwhile, I'm thinking, pretty technical. It's kind of cool. Everyone has to order from their phone and wait for their number.
He was shaking his head, asking if you wanted the secret sauce.
Yeah, exactly.
Ein großen secret sauce.
And you were like this, yeah. And he's like, oh yeah.
But
I'll use my
good.
phone for secret sauce.
Oh, JV, hold on. Just before the call, you know, JV's shoulder's all jacked up.
Is it?
JV's shoulder's all jacked up.
JV, what's
and
going
he
on?
told me,
I pinched a nerve.
Did you?
Yeah. And I've been before I went to Germany, so it's been like 5-6 days.
Oh my god!
I went to the doctor. Yeah, I had MRI yesterday, and I'm gonna get it checked out tomorrow. They're gonna look at the whatever the imaging is, but it's a pinched nerve. They just got to figure out how we're gonna fix it. But yeah,
JV gave me his diagnosis. JV said, "I think it's from drinking."
No. I said I think it gets worse when I drink because, you know, I'm trying to think. My brain is myself saying drink and then like numb it out, you know, and just pass out.
Yeah.
And when I was in Germany, I was trying to do that. And I was like, fuck, at night during dinner, it hurt actually more.
What were you drinking?
No, like wine, you know, just drinking wine
or
whatever.
He was drinking those giant German steins.
I was going to say,
my left hand.
My shoulder hurts, man. My shoulder.
I was going to say, if you're drinking those Weiss beers, dude, those things will. I went to a race one year over there as a team manager, and we had Weiss beers and schnitzel. I was like, you know what, man? I love this stuff so much. I'm getting it every night because I don't get it at home. And I don't know when I'm going to be back to Austria. And dude, I gained 10 pounds in like 11 days.
Holy.
I came home, dude. My clothes were snug on the plane back.
Dude, that's crazy.
God, those beers are so good. You could eat them,
dude.
I
That's
love
crazy.
those Weiss beers and the schnitzel and the noodles. Oh, all
my
of it.
Goodness.
Yep. Schnitzel is good.
I just saw JV taking a drink right now, and I was like, oh,
because I poured a little
tequila.
Get worse. Yeah.
JV, taking over my. I'm just on the waters tonight. You taking over my job?
Hey, so
drunk, huh?
His shoulder hurts.
That's right.
Oh, you
can't
my back
right
there.
Hey, and my back hurts.
That's right. That's right.